Namaste, Namaste everyone. Welcome to Way Optics class. Today we are going to deal with one of the important term called phase difference and path difference, which is very, very important in terms of interference and two-way superpose. Already we have seen some concepts of interference in our first PUC, like interference of sound waves produces beats, and interference of two waves produces stationary waves, and now we will see interference of light. That is what you call the phenomenon called interference of light, and that was given that was experimentally shown by Thomas Young, and saying that light can also interfere, so thereby giving a very good proof for Huygens wave theory. So interference experiment done by Thomas Young, Young's double slit experiment, very famous experiment, proved that light is a wave again. So that gave a boost to Huygens wave theory. Right? So in order to understand interference, we must know what is path difference and what is phase difference. Every wave is characterized by either crest and trough or compression and rarefaction. I will mix up the sound waves and light waves. While explaining, you will follow it, no problem. So wherever I take sound waves, you will understand. Wherever I take light waves, you will understand it. Now, all the types of waves have the property or have the characteristic of superposing on each other, and thereby producing a larger or smaller wave of higher amplitude or lower amplitude, or of the same amplitude. That depends on how do they superpose. As if you have two forces with you, suppose two persons are asked to pull a particular object, they can pull it at different angles. The resultant will be different. So here also, when the two waves superpose, the resultant will be different. When you are standing by the side of the seashore, the sea waves will come towards your legs and they will return back. But when they return back, another wave comes and hits to that returning back wave. So what happens to the new wave now? New wave will be entirely different. So the coming wave and returning wave will superpose, and that produces a new wave. And that new wave will be a very large wave, maybe smaller wave, depending on how do they superpose. What do you mean by the way of superposing? Very simple. If the crest of one wave falls on the crest of another, then the superposition is constructive. You get a maximum amplitude wave. If the crest of one wave falls on the trough of another, resultant amplitude is minimum. That's what we have to understand. So today in the whole 45 minutes class, we will try to understand what is phase difference and what is path difference. Okay. And then we will move on to interference, right? So this is only for the basic knowledge that we are studying. And one or two things in this you may be asked for the exam. What are the conditions for constructive interference? What are the conditions for destructive interference and all? So now, suppose you have two waves. Say you have two tuning forks and here. And I will produce the two waves like this. Or you just produce some water waves, water ripples on the surface of water. Take a stick, dip into water and simply move it up and down. When you move it up and down, the water molecules will also move up and down. At the point where they are attached to the stick, when you move this, the molecules will also start moving. But one molecule is attached to the another molecule. So when one molecule along with the stick goes up, the other molecule is dragged back. So another one, like this is like a chain. So all the molecules will go up and come down and they will start oscillating. So that oscillation fever will transfer from one particle to another. That is what you call disturbance. So disturbance moves from one particle to another. So particles, all the particles after some time start vibrating with respect to a particular point, and the way of vibration will be similar to another particle. Suppose you consider one particle vibrating here at the middle of the tank where the stick is, and if you consider the vibration of the last particle, that might have started vibration a little bit later, but still it is vibrating. If you consider the vibration of that particle, in some respects it is similar to this vibration. In some respects it is different. What is different and what are the quantities which are different and what are the quantities which are similar? Suppose you are moving the stick here, this particle will start vibrating like this. Let us assume that it takes 4 seconds to complete one oscillation. So to move up, it takes 1 second, or let us assume that it's coming down first, and 1 second, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds. So it keeps on vibrating. So it is like this. So first particle starts its vibration, and it completes one vibration in 4 seconds. So its period is 4 seconds. Right? Its frequency is 1 by 4, or nu I write. Frequency nu is 1 by 4 because 1 by period. So 1 by period one factor. Now, when this particle starts vibration, immediately the next particle will start vibration. Sir, how much time later? How much time later the next particle will start vibration? In a very small interval of time. That depends on how close they are. What is the bond between them? How rigid they are? How much closely they are attached? In solids, particles are very closely attached. In liquids, they are not so closely bound. The bond is not so strong. In gases, it is very loose. The bond is very loose. So, the time after which the next particle will start vibration depends on their rigidity and elasticity and everything. Of course, the second one will start the vibration, even a little bit later, whatever it is. And if the second particle immediately starts vibrating and it goes along with the first one, the wave disturbance travels faster. It is as if you have a queue of people. People are standing side by side, one backwards another in a queue. And if the population is thick, and if the people are very, very close, not maintaining the social distance, if they are very close, if the last person is pushed forward, then all the people will fall forward immediately. Suppose there is a gap between them, then the rate of falling or the time taken to fall will go on decreasing. So if they are densely populated, then the transfer of energy is very fast, or transfer of disturbance is very fast, and if they are far away, transfer of disturbance is not so fast. So here we have the second particle which starts vibration after the first one. The first one is like a ringmaster, second one will follow it. What the second one will do? Second one is the ringmaster for the third one. So it keeps on pulling the third one up. So it is like a chain. You tie a thread and just vibrate the thread here. Tie the thread on the other end, vibrate it here. When you vibrate it here, what happens? You are vibrating one particle of the thread, the other particle follows it. So wave keeps on moving. Wave moving means that disturbance what you have produced is the transfer from one particle to another. So after some time you will find that this particle is also vibrating. Now you can't find this particle or this molecule of water vibrating immediately as this starts. It will be after some time. Why it is so? Because this molecule has to transfer its vibration to the other one, it has to pull it, and the other one has to pull the third one has to pull the fourth one. It takes certain time to travel the disturbance, and that is what is called velocity of the wave. This is velocity of wave, the velocity of disturbance or velocity of the wave. The velocity with which that disturbance moves forward, and that will be very quick in rigid bodies and little bit slow in liquids and very slow in gases, because it depends on how density is. Wave travels forward. Particles say, this is, I am explaining about water ripple, this is a transverse wave. The same thing happens in a sound wave, longitudinal wave. That the particles vibrate like this. When I talk, I disturb a set of air molecules and I push them. As they are pushed, they will push the other molecules. When they come back, the other molecules will also come back. So the vibration will be transferred from one place to another. And when the air molecules are disturbed, you know that the propagation of disturbance and the molecular vibration all are parallel to each other. That's why it is called longitudinal wave. Whereas in water ripple, molecules vibrate perpendicular to the way in which the disturbance travels. That's why it is a transverse wave. We describe transverse waves in the form of crests and troughs. We describe longitudinal waves in the form of compressions and rarefactions. That you know. And compression is the region where the molecules are thickly populated and pressure is high and density is more. And the rarefaction is the place where they have come out, right? Density is less, pressure is less, and that will keep on changing. That's not a permanent criteria. The particles will come closer, density becomes more, and they will move away. So they keep on vibrating. That continuous activity makes the wave to travel. Once they stop vibrating, the wave doesn't travel. So if you drop a stone to a pond which contains water, molecules will produce, water molecules will produce ripples on the surface. Whereas if you drop a stone to a mud, no ripples are produced. Because one molecule goes down, it has nothing to do with the other molecules, it doesn't transfer its energy, finished. No ripples are produced in a mud. Similarly here, a wave is produced and this starts vibrating a little bit later. Now you ask this molecule, why are you vibrating? It says, sir, I have been given an instruction from the first particle at O to vibrate like this. Oh, you are vibrating now? Yes. Which vibration you are doing now? That vibration which is done for the first time by this particle. Now if you look into both the particles simultaneously, both the molecules simultaneously, you will find that this molecule is copying this molecule and it is copying the first vibration of this molecule here. This is vibrating this is copying the first vibration of this molecule. That means whatever the condition of this molecule now at this instant, it might have completed some 4 or 5 vibrations already. Say it has completed 10 vibrations already. So this is the 10th vibration of this and this is the first vibration of this, right? This is vibrating the first one, that is the instructions given by this has taken so much of time to travel here. Whereas this is, at this instant is vibrating its 10th vibration. So who are following its, whatever it is 9th, 8th, 5th, 6th vibrations, they have been copied by different molecules here and the molecule which is very close to it will be making the 9th vibration of this now. 9th vibration, sorry, not 9th vibration, yes, 9th vibration of this, second vibration of this now, right? This is doing the second vibration of this and the third vibration of this will be copied by this one, so and so on. What about the 9th vibration of this? That is copied by the very closely vibrating particle. They are like this. So every particle will be copying the other one. This is simply my analysis. It may not be like this only, but to understand it, my analysis may be helpful. So one particle, another particle will start copying the vibrations. That means now you ask the different particles. I name this particle as O and I name this particle as X and this particle as Y, this particle as Z. You ask the particle X, you are copying somebody, right? Yes sir, I am copying O. O has completed that vibration already and I am copying it now. Now how much time do you take to complete one more oscillation? Sir, I am copying O, so I am doing the same thing what A did, what O did earlier. That means I take the same time to complete one oscillation, 4 seconds. But I am doing it later, that's all. You take same 2 years to complete the second view. Your mother has taken same 2 years to complete second view. But she has done it little earlier. And you are doing it now. But gap is the same. That the duration of the course is 2 years. So here also, this particle will take the same period as this one to complete oscillation, but it will start little later and complete little later. This may complete the first oscillation in between 0 and 4 seconds. This may complete the oscillation from 10 seconds to 14 seconds. So that is the only difference. But the time period is same. So what is then different for these two particles? That is what you call phase. Phase is different. Condition is different. In what phase you are now? You are in second view, first view phase. What about your mother? She has completed that phase earlier itself. And she has done everything what you are doing now. She might have read for the exam, and she might have prepared for the exam, she might have written the exam, and you are doing it now. So you are doing exactly what your mother has done earlier, few years earlier. Now you are doing it. So your face is the only thing different. You are reading the same thing. She has read what she has read. So let us assume it like that. So our syllabus has not changed and everything is same. Let us assume it like that. Then, you will have only a phase difference. What is that phase difference? That phase, condition, state. In what state you are? What condition you are? That can be measured either using angle or maybe using period. Suppose you are, if you are explaining these two particles, okay, say say this has completed oscillations a little bit later, say this has started vibration after 10 seconds, say 10 seconds is needed for the disturbance to travel from here to here. If I take it like this, then the phase difference between these two particles can be taken as 10 seconds. So that condition can be taken. So always you can explain the phase difference in terms of time. That is, time is 10 seconds. So what is the phase difference between these two particles? It is 10 seconds. Okay, that's just an example. Can you explain it in different ways? Yes, you can say, explain the phase difference in terms of angular. Phase angle, we write it. We write it as phase angle. So how do you differentiate phase angle? Now, phase angle is a way in which we explain the phase difference. How two particles are lagging behind or leading. For example, this particle is leading this particle. What do you mean by this particle is leading? I will name this as A. A is leading X. from vibration from here needs 5 seconds to travel up to this. Let us assume it like this. Now, that means this is lagging behind this one by 5 seconds. But this is leading by this particle by 5 seconds. That means it is starting vibration and copying these vibrations and 5 seconds earlier than this one. You are lagging behind by your mother by some age. For example, suppose your mother has completed her PUC and examinations and all by suppose 20 years back. Suppose she has completed 20 years back, say. Then you and your mother have a phase difference of 20 years. And that phase difference keeps on changing, right? So you will complete your SSLC after your mother has completed and 20 years after. Because your mother has completed it 20 years earlier. So that keeps on taking a difference. But that difference will be the same. Everything what your mother did, you will do it 20 years later. Right? So now, that is one way of explaining phase angle. Another way of phase difference in terms of periods. Another way of explaining phase is in terms of angle. So, how do you explain the phase difference in terms of angle? Let us come to our lifestyle. You know that every person will have his own activity. But if you take all the people in common, everybody will be born in this universe and they will grow up and they will have their educational life. So we will divide the phase into four parts. First 25 years education, as I said. This is an order division. First 25 years education. So educational phase. Next 25 years, say family life and job, etc. 25 to 50 years. That's second phase. And 50 to 75 years, say you are in the retired life and social service and you have enough money with you, you feel that you have to go for social service, so you have some your own NGO company and all. So 50 to 75 years, social service. And 75 to 100 years, say, and your average life is 100 years, let us go for that. So 75 to 100 years, simply praying God and doing something, prayer and everything, right? Waiting for the day, that's all. And suppose you have your life like that, if you divide it into four parts. Suppose you say that, sir, I am 23 years old. What is your phase? You are in the phase of education. Sir, I am 22 years old. Then you are in the phase of job and family. So like this. Now, how to convert it into angle? Very simple. Divide the whole 360-degree angle into four parts. This is just an example to understand. Don't write it in the examination. Divide the whole 360 degree into four parts. 0 to 90 degree, 90 to 180, 180 to 270, 270 to 360. Very simple. Now first phase, education and student life. First 90 degree. And next 90 degree, 90 to 180, family and job. That is 25 years to 50 years, which is equivalent to 90 degree to 180 degree. 180 to 270. Then retired life, social service. And that is 50 years to 75 years, 75 to 100 years. That is just dhyanam and everything, prayer and everything. That is 270 degrees to 360 degrees. Suppose if I ask you, in what phase you are, in what condition you are, in what state you are, these are all the phases. Sir, I am at say 120 degree. What do you mean by 120 degree? That comes between 90 and 180, right? So you are in the phase of job and family. So that's how we convert it. So everything can be expressed in angle. So if you want to convert or express it in angle, we will take one way. And you know that in a way. So these are all the basics. And once you know all these ideas, of course, when I say my idea to you, you may develop your own way of understanding. So everybody will have their own ideas, their own models. Finally, the things come closer. They should focus at a single point and they should understand a common picture. That's all. So you develop your own idea and you can compare it with something else in your day-to-day life. I am saying my way of studying this phase difference. Now if you drop a stone to a pond, now the first particle completes one vibration, say. It comes down 1 second, goes to the mean position, top, crest, again back. 4 seconds over. What the second particle will do? Will it start vibration once the first one completes its vibration? No. As soon as the first vibration starts, the vibration of the first particle starts, the other one comes along with that, and it goes up and moves along with that like this. So, second one will have a small time gap, that's all. Say 1 second. After this reaches to the bottom, the second molecule goes along with it. This need not be the case, but simply I will take it like this. So, second will come along with the first one, and that also starts. Third one comes, fourth one comes. Now, when this completes the first oscillation, many particles, many molecules in between might have started vibration, right? When you are just born, immediately after your birth, another child may be born somewhere in some hospital or some house, and another child may be born, and you are having a phase difference of say 1 second, 2 seconds like this. You are born at exact 1 minute time, and 1 second later another child was born, and similarly like this. So you have all a phase difference, say 1 second gap. And that 1 second gap doesn't change in the next year, because when you complete 1 year, that child will also complete 1 year. So that 1 second gap will be kept on, that difference will be kept throughout your life. And when you just complete 1 year, that child will be lagging behind by 1 second for completing 1 year, right? So when it completes 1 year, it will be moving 1 second forward. So like that. So that 1 second gap phase difference will be kept throughout. So when this starts vibration, the later one will start little bit later. It will also complete in 4 seconds, but little bit later. This will complete vibration in 4 seconds. The other one will start vibration after 1 second. So it will complete one vibration from 1 second to 5 seconds. That means in the gap of 4 seconds. It has started 1 second later, it will complete 1 second later. But total time duration taken is 4 seconds. So period is set. So in this way all the particles vibrate. Now when this completes one full oscillation, up to what distance the disturbance has started. That is called one wave, and it is like this. So it will be like this. Say like this. This particle has completed one vibration. Okay, it's not like that. It is like 180 degree out of phase. So it is like this. When this particle completes one full oscillation, like this, the second particle, say a particle here, might have come down and it has gone up and might have reached here. It is left with the 1/4 of the oscillation. 1 second is remaining for the second one, because the first particle has completed 4 seconds, it has completed one oscillation. Say this is the second particle that I am referring, and this is the second particle which I am interested in. It has started by vibration 1 second later, and it has completed only 3 seconds now. That means it has started from 1 second, it has reached 4 seconds. Now it needs 1 more second to complete vibration. That means this vibration is still pending. That is why it is here. What about this one? This has come down and it has gone up. It has completed only 50% of the vibration. Still 50% is remaining. It has to go up and come down. What about this molecule? It has just come down. What about this one? This has not yet started vibration. It has to do its vibration, it has to start its vibration now. That means the first vibration of this and the second vibration of these two particles go together. Do you agree? When this completes one full oscillation, this particle will start vibrating. So, this first oscillation of this and the second oscillation of this go together. So, after some time, if you observe this particle, if it is doing 10th vibration, then this may be doing 11th vibration. That means always this particle will be leading by one full vibration than this particle. So, in between the different particles will have different phase. So, if you want to say in terms of time, this is lagging behind by 4 seconds, this is lagging behind by 2 seconds, this is lagging behind by 3 seconds, because it has just come down. It has still to go up here and come down. 3 seconds remaining to complete one full oscillation. Whereas this one has gone down, gone to the mean position, and it is in the crash now. 1 second remaining. So that is a different phase. What about this particle, sir? It has come down, gone up, and it is gone to the top and it has started the final journey. Still this much is only remaining. And it will also have some phase difference. Now, can you explain the phase difference like this? Suppose this is 0 and this is period t, because wave has traveled a distance of 1 full lambda. 1 full lambda means 1 full period, right? And this takes a time of period t to start its vibration. And the phase difference between these two particles is t. So I will name this as particle A particle B, or shall I draw a new one? You can't see that now. I've drawn so many lines over it. So I'll show it like this, right? Yes, this is O, this is A, which has come down and gone up, and this has come down and reached here. 50% is remaining B, and this is the C, particle C here. So this is A, I'll write it here, C, and this is D. D has not yet started vibration, and this has gone down, not gone up, and it's still remaining 3/4 of the oscillation. 75% is remaining, only 25% is over. Now, if you want to write what are the phases, you ask O, A, B, C, D, how are you? Then O will say, sir, I have completed one oscillation. A, sir, I have completed 3/4. B, sir, I just completed 50% of the oscillation. 25%, I have not yet started, sir. So explain it in terms of phase. That means 0, this is period T, this is T by 2, this is T by 4, this is 3T by 4. This is 75% of T, 50% of T. What do you mean by this? The meaning of this is, these two have a phase difference of T by 4. 1/4 of the period. That means, this will always be vibrating 1/4 of the time later than this one. Whatever this vibration is observing now here, that vibration will be copied by this one after T by 4 seconds. Whatever is this is showing the vibration, that is the vibration that this has done 50% of the time earlier, T by 2 seconds earlier. Whatever this has done T by 2 seconds earlier, that is now copied by this one, right? Whatever you are doing now is the thing that is done by your mother 20 years earlier. That keeps on, as it is, that 20 years gap. Next year you are mother and you won't have a age difference of 19. It will be 20 only because both of you will get 1 year older. So similarly, that is the phase difference in terms of period. So how to put it in terms of angle? You put 2 pi here, I write 2 pi here, 2 pi, I write B here, D, this is 2 pi, and I write this as pi. I have to normally that you have to divide it in terms of 360 degrees, and this is pi by 2, and this is 3 pi by 2. 1.5 pi, 2 pi, because 360 degrees is 2 pi, and this is 180, this is 90. Sir, what is the phase difference between these two particles? That is 90 degrees. What do you mean 90 degree phase difference? This is always executing an oscillation which is done by this T by 4 seconds earlier. So now this is a old oscillation for the particle O, but this is a fresh for particle A. So that is how the phase is. And phase difference for different particles are different, and usually we represent phase difference in terms of angle, right? So what is your phase if you ask your friend? Suppose we are not using time as a reference, if you are using angle as a reference, your friend will say, my phase is 60 degree. What do you mean by 60 degree? You are between 90 and 0, that means you are in educational life. In your age may be somewhere between 15 years and 20 years, right? So that's how we have to do here. So phase is represented in terms of angle. Now what is pi by 2 phase angle? What is pi phase angle? That can be clearly understood like this. Always pi by 2 phase difference means, pi by 2 phase difference means when one particle is at the 0th position, another is at either crest or trough. Suppose one is at crest. See, these two particles never come closer. They will be never along with each other. Right? So when one particle is at 0, another is at crest. When this goes to trough, this comes to 0th position. And when this comes to 0th position, this comes here. When this comes to the negative position, this comes here. So they will be always vibrating. One is at top, another is at bottom. When this comes here, this comes here. When this comes here, this goes here. It is very similar to two pendulums like this. I will take a pendulum like this, and I will take another similar pendulum here. So I will keep on comparing these two pendulums. I will take enough time to explain this. So I leave one pendulum from here, I will just push it, and I will take another pendulum inclined like this. I will leave it from the extreme position, I will push it from the mean position. When this is pushed from the mean position and when this is left from the extreme position, what happens? In the next moment, this pendulum will be here, am I right? And this pendulum will be going to the extreme position, correct? Then in the next moment, this pendulum will come come to the leftmost extreme position. This is the next condition. Whatever the other pendulum, it will come to the mean position. When this comes to the mean position, like this comes to the extreme position. Do you know, can you see that this pendulum is following this pendulum? That the different color, I use some orange color. Orange color is leading and this is lagging. This has just started vibration, whereas this has already started vibration and it has reached earlier. This is like your mother and this is you are. This is the representation for you because you have just born. Your mother has already completed some 20 years of education, say 23, 25 years of education. She has completed. So when you reach to your 25 years of education, your mother will lead 180 degree. So this is 0, this is 90 degree. 90 degree not in the sense that I am saying this angle. It's not. I am explaining the face of the wave. It is not this angle. So your mother has completed education and mother will come to the retired life and then you will complete the education when the mother is in the retired life. And when mother goes to the social service phase, you will complete your retired life. So when the mother comes back to the original condition, you will go to the other one. So there is always a 90 degree phase difference. So that is what happens here. Now, okay. So that phase difference is shown here. This particle and this particle have a phase difference of pi by 2. Whatever this and this are, B, O and B have a phase difference of 180 degree. That is pi. What do you mean by that? When this, you see, they look like at the same condition, but they are not in the same condition. So they are at the mean position. Or if you take this the water ripple, they are at the zeroth phase, they appear to be like a zeroth phase. No. When one particle goes up, this particle will come down. They are exactly opposite in phase. When this journey of this is down, this will be going up because this has completed only half of the oscillation. When this completes half of the oscillation, it will be up. So its next journey is going up and the next journey of this is coming down. It's starting fresh, where is it now? This particle has completed half of the vibration, yes. By the time this starts vibration, this will be completing half of the vibration. And when this goes up, this will be coming down. And when this goes up, this will be coming down. So they are in exactly opposite phase. That is 180 degree. So such 180 degree out of phase condition can be taken like this. Suppose when one pendulum is here, another pendulum is here, at extreme position. When this comes to the mean position, this also comes to the mean position. Now do you say that they are in the same phase? No. Because this is in the positive going direction and this is negative going direction. So in the next condition, when this comes here, this goes here, right? So exactly opposite phase. That is 180 degree. So 180 degree phase difference. As you walk on the ground, how are your hands? Hands will be 180 degree out of phase. When one hand goes forward, another hand goes back. And you don't walk like this with both of your hands forward and backward. That's not possible. You can't have your body balanced. So when your right hand goes forward, your body falls back. So in order to balance it, the left hand automatically goes back. They are 180 degree out of phase. Clearly opposite when you walk like this. So clearly opposite phase is represented by 180. So in this way. Now suppose you take this as lambda. If you take this distance as lambda, that is one wavelength. Wavelength is the distance traveled by a wave in an exact time of one period. When all these particles have completed vibration and when this is just about to start the vibration, the distance traveled by the wave is lambda. That is the distance traveled by the wave when the wave completes one full period. When the first particle completes one full oscillation, you will get one full wavelength. Okay? I am using this diagram as water ripples as well as a wave graph, both. Okay? But for understanding it is okay, there is no problem. But in due course they are different. You can't take water ripple as itself is a wave, sine wave graph. Okay, now if you observe these two waves or these two particles, one more thing I want to say here. If you observe these two particles, now the thing is here, they have a phase difference of 180 degrees and these two particles have a phase difference of 90 degrees. What do you mean by 90? When this is at 0, this is at peak, and when this comes here, this will go here. When this comes here, this goes here. So this particle will be always having a phase difference of 90 degrees. So 90-degree phase difference can be understood like this also, mathematically. This is also important because everything, if you can explain, you can put it in mathematical form also. If you can put it in mathematical form, what happens is everything becomes clear. You can go forward because everything understanding through theory and observation is not possible. Mathematics is also needed. How to put it in trigonometric form? See, now let me see one particle, these two particles. So how to put these two particles in mathematics in terms of cos theta and sin theta? Now, you know that it is like pendulum. So just I have drawn one diagram where we have two pendulum. One pendulum starting from here and the other pendulum is it has already started its vibration and it is in the extreme position, whereas this is in the mean position. And in the next case, what is the condition? This goes to the extreme condition and this pendulum comes over here to the mean position. And in the next case, what is the condition now? This goes to the mean position, right, again, and this goes to the other extreme position. Pendulum will be here. So this is going from here, coming back and going to the next extreme position. And in the last condition, how will be the case? This will be coming back to, okay, here, mean position, extreme back, okay. Three conditions are over, okay. Now I'll write here. This will be coming back, right? And what about the white one? White one will be going to the, white one is here, it has completed here, and it will go to the extreme position. And the last condition is, this will come back, white one will come back to its normal position. So right, middle, left, mean. And whatever this one, right extreme, middle one, leftmost, mean, and again rightmost. So it has come back to the same condition, finally. This is called 90-degree phase difference. Now how to analyze it mathematically? Very simple. I'll write cos theta, sin theta values now. You know cos theta and sin theta. So I'll write theta here, cos theta, sin. Okay, theta 0, cos 0 1, sin 0 0. What about cos? So I'll write 90, 180, 270, 360. Cos 90, 0. And sin 90, 1. And this is sin cos 180 is minus 1. Sin 90, 180 is 0 again. So if you put it, you just toggle this one, toggle the values 1, 0, minus 1, 0, and this is minus 1. And 360 is same as 0 value, right? It is 2 pi value and 0 values are same. It is 1 and 0. Now we see. Sin theta and cos theta, do they have any phase difference? Yes. Sin theta is your journey. Cos theta is your mother's journey. Cos theta has already come to the maximum value. It has started journey already. When you are just born, you see your mother already born, right? Because she has completed her education and she is in a married life. She is in a job or married life. Or even your father. So you already have a phase difference of 20 or 25 years, say. So the same thing here. When sin theta is just born, it looks into cos theta. Cos theta is already born and it is in position 1. When this pendulum starts vibration, this is already started the pendulum, which has started vibration. It has gone already to the extreme value. Hope you can see all these things together in the video. Hope you can see both the videos, both the parts. So I am explaining both. So this, when it is just born, this is in the extreme position. And when this is just born, this has gone already forward. Now, when this leads to the maximum value, this comes to 0. When this leads to 0, this goes to minus 1. Now tell me that who is leading and who is copying? You are copying your mother. So as if you copy your mother. How sin theta and cos theta are copying? Just see here. Cos theta 1, sin theta 0. And now sin theta looks into cos theta. I want to be 1. So copy after 90 degrees. Now cos theta is 0. Sin theta says I want to be 0. So copy it after 90 degrees. Copy it, right? And sin theta is copying cos theta after every 90 degrees. After every 90 degree value, sin sin theta will have that value which is already obtained by cos theta, 90 degree earlier. So shall I say that cos theta is leading, sin theta is lagging, and sin theta is copying the cos theta values which is 90 degree earlier. That is why we write in sin 90 plus theta as cos theta in trigonometry. So whatever cos theta value you get, that will be obtained by sin after 90 degrees plus 90 degrees. So sin 90 plus theta is always cos theta. Theta 90 degree earlier itself. So this is the way in which you write. So whenever you represent a waveform, you know the equation of a wave. Suppose you are given a wave y is equal to a sin omega t. And how do you represent another wave which has a phase difference of 90 degrees? We write it as a cos omega t. Right? What is a cos omega t? Sin omega t plus pi by 2. That means this is leading this wave by 90 degrees. So that is the way in which we say the phase difference, but still it is not over. Now you consider two waves. Now you will go for the superposition. Now you will understand what is actually the superposition, because when two waves superpose simultaneously, we say water vapors. You drop a stone, drop another stone here. The two waves come on the same medium. Whenever they superpose, when they superpose on each other, what about the third wave we get? The result of the two waves. Whether it's a big wave, smaller wave, or we don't get any wave at all, that depends on the phase now. That depends on how do they superpose. Whether crest is falling on crest, whether compression is falling on compression, or whether rarefaction is falling on compression, that is what we are interested in. Now imagine, in the beginning of this class I was saying about two waves, right? Let us imagine one wave starting from here, like this. And it is reaching, say it is a tuning fork. Let us assume that it is a sound wave. Sound wave represented graphically, but here the topmost position is compression, and this is rarefaction or crest and trough. You can mix it up, no problem. Only understanding is important. This is one wave. At the same time, I switch on another tuning fork, and that tuning fork is having the same frequency as the first one, and its wave is represented like this. Okay? Now both are traveling the same distance. You ask the wave, white wave, white wave, white wave. How much distance you have traveled by the time you reach the ears? This is the detector, say. By the time you reach the detector, how much distance you have traveled? Sir, I travel same as pink wave. Because we have identical waves. We are generated by a very similar set of tuning forks. Okay, they reach that. Now how does this detector record the sound, maximum sound? Why? Because you see, whatever the changes this wave keeps on doing in air, the same type of changes will be done by this pink wave also. So if the crest is produced by one wave, then other will also produce crest. And if compression is produced by one wave, other wave will also produce compression. So when two waves simultaneously at a point produce compression only, air gets compressed a lot, and it will be rarefied a lot, because both of them are doing the same thing. So when one person pulls a ball like this, if the other person is also pulling it in the same direction, when we pull the cart in the temple, what we do? We all pull it in the same direction. Some 50% in the opposite and 50% in the one direction will not serve the purpose. It will make the cart stationary. Here everything is in favor. So they are putting the efforts together in the same direction. Both are producing crest. Suppose two water ripples move in the same wave, same medium, like this, and both are producing crest together, both are producing trough together. Water molecule will be pulled and pushed to the top to a large extent, and you will get a very maximum wave, and you will get maximum sound. And this is called constructive interference. So what do you mean by constructive interference? The interference of two waves, any waves for that matter, such that the crest falls on crest and the resultant amplitude of the wave will be maximum. So how will be the resultant wave? Resultant wave will be maximum wave, because when both these waves are formed at the same line, you will get the resultant wave maximum wave. Like this. So this crest and this crest will add a water molecule. For example, if this is a water molecule, when one wave passes by the side of this, it is pulling the water molecule up. What about the other one? Pink one. Pink one is also passing in the same time, and it is also pulling the particle up. What about the condition of the particle? Particle is very hot and it will be pushed to a very great height, like this. And even in the bottom. because they will ladder. So when the crest falls on crest, it is called constructive interference. Now let me push the other. Now both the tuning forks are at the same point. Distance of traveling is the same. Now I say that there is no path difference. What do you mean by path difference? The difference in the distance traveled by the two waves. There is no difference and both are traveling the same distance. Okay. Now, suppose if I displace one wave a little bit away. So I will draw a new diagram and I will explain this and then I will stop. Then remaining we will see in the next class. Suppose this is one wave. The other wave is starting a little bit later, say from here. I will place the next tuning fork or whatever it is, water equals little bit later. It is an identical wave, but it is starting a little bit later. So this wave starts from here. And imagine that they are formed in the same line, right? Both are traveling in the water only. Both are traveling in the same air medium. If it is sound, let us assume that they are traveling in the air. And if it is water people formed in the same region of water. Now, if you club them, what will happen? What about the detector now? Now, if you see the detector, you will find the detector hears or detects no sound. No sound is heard, and this is a destructive interference. Sir, why destructive? Why destructive? You see, one wave produces rarefaction, another wave produces compression. So when one sound wave travels in the medium, it starts pushing the particles. At the same time, simultaneously, another wave rarefies. One person is pulling the body out like this, another person is pulling the body in the opposite direction. What is the result? If the forces are of almost the same value, this is 7 Newton, say this is 7 Newton, what is the answer? 0. Net force is 0. So if these molecules, suppose in a water ripple, one wave moves and it produces crest, say, like this. And simultaneously, another wave comes and it produces trough. What is the condition of this molecule? Whether it has to listen to the first one and go up, and whether it has to listen to the second one and come down. It doesn't vibrate. Net force is 0. So it will not vibrate at all. So you will have a resultant wave of 0 amplitude, no wave at all. No vibration at all. Not like this. This is called destructive interference. So if the crest falls on trough, the waves superpose destructively and resultant amplitude is almost 0, provided the amplitude of this and amplitude of this are same. Otherwise it will not be 0, right? If the two forces are not equal, so here, for example, the forces are in the same direction. Here, the forces are in the opposite direction. If they are not equal, resultant is not 0, even though they are opposite. If they are equal, resultant is 0. So if the two waves have almost equal amplitude, resultant amplitude will be 0. So when the two water ripples pass in the same water medium, if one produces crest and another produces trough, resultant amplitude will be 0, water will be still and it will not be vibrating at that position. Now this has occurred because there was a path difference. Here no path difference, whereas here a path difference of lambda by 2. Am I right? There is a path difference of lambda by 2, correct? This wave has traveled some waves here, but this has traveled lambda by 2 extra. You know that this is lambda. So if there is a path difference of lambda between two identical waves, then the crest starts falling on the trough and the two waves will superpose destructively and the resultant amplitude will be 0. We will see one more condition, little bit fast, and then we will have some more animations, PPTs, and we will try to understand this. Because once this basic is in your brain, everything in this chapter is like very easy and dead easy. You will understand everything. But once this is not clear, you will never understand anything in this chapter. Okay, now I will boom, pink wave, still forward. What will happen? This is the one wave, maybe sound, maybe water ripple, whatever it is. This is another wave. Say I am holding a tuning fork here. This tuning fork is held a little later, not by lambda by 2, 1 lambda later. I will keep this tuning fork here. What happens now? Again I get crest falling on crest, and here is the detector. It determines some electronic device which receives sound and says whether it is maximum or minimum. Some detector. Okay. Now what happens here? You see, as the two waves. White wave, how much you have traveled? Sir, I have traveled so much of distance. What about pink? Sir, I have traveled 1 lambda less. 1 lambda less because I have started somewhat closer. So that is a path difference of lambda. Here the path difference is lambda by 2. And here there is no path difference at all. And here the path difference is lambda. Now, what is the condition if the path difference is lambda? Crest falls on crest. Again, whatever it may be, it may not be the first crest itself. Hope you can see this, right? You can see this. And this crest doesn't fall on this crest. But this crest falls on this. Whatever be the number of crests, no problem. Crest falls on crest. Constructive. And you will get the result and amplitude maximum. Maximum result and amplitude. This crest and this crest together make the water ripple or water molecules to vibrate maximum. So you get maximum amplitude and minimum amplitude. Maximum, minimum, maximum, minimum. Like this. This is the result like that. When they should superpose on the same point, they should not be somewhere away the two waves. So if the path difference is 1.5 lambda, now can you guess yourself if it is 1.5 lambda? That means this wave has to travel from here, right? What happens now? Crest falls on ground. So if the path difference is 0 lambda, this case. If it is 1 lambda, this case. And if it is 2 lambda means the pink wave has to travel from 1 lambda, 2 lambda, from here. Again the crest falls on crest, correct? So we get constructive interference. Crest falls on crest. Compression falls on compression. Rarefaction falls on rarefaction. The wave will compress the air too much, rarefy too much. The water molecule will jump upward to the maximum height, lower maximum height. So it will produce the maximum wave, constructive interference. And if it is half lambda, so if you make the wave to start like this, and if the pink wave starts from here, half lambda, or if it starts from 1.5 lambda, from here, like this, crest falls on graph. So how to explain this? If the path difference is half lambda, lambda by 2, 1.5 lambda, 3 lambda by 2, and 5 lambda by 2, and so on, then it's destructive interference. Of course, this is not over, this is only the first step of the basics. So, if the two waves superpose with a path difference, and you will ask me a question, sir, where do we get these types of waves? Usually they are produced in the same point and they travel from a single source. Why do we get such conditions? That we will see in the next class. That is another beautiful idea. How do these waves have a path difference? And that will make the things clear. But for the time being, just understand that if it is N lambda, N standing for, so path difference is N lambda. If the path difference is N lambda, N standing for 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. And how do you explain here? If the path difference is N plus half lambda, correct? N plus half lambda, or 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, anything, take 2 common, 2n plus 1, 2 denominator 2, common denominator, bring it outside, 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, or 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, 2n plus 1 lambda by 2, it is same as this one. Put n equal to 0, you get half lambda, put n equal to 1, 3 by 2 lambda, so you get this, n equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. This is destructive. So in 1 hour here today, this much is enough. What is phase? What is path difference? Which path difference creates constructive? Which path difference creates destructive interference? And which creates maximum wave? Which creates zero wave? And with this in mind, we will move on to the next class. We will have few more animations to support this and few more ideas to support this. And we will work out 1 or 2 problems. Then you will understand what is the idea behind this. Then we will move on to the actual light wave superposition, that is interference, right? Till then, take care, study this, and develop your own ideas. Think about this when you are going here and there. So keep it in fresh in your mind. Thanks for watching the video. Namaste.